Hello, everyone. Welcome to Know Your Center. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll give everybody a moment to come on in and we'll get started. Welcome, everybody. Great. Well, I know you all must have a busy Wednesday, so we'll get started now. My name is Susan Merrill O'Connor. I'm the Director of Membership and Communications here at the Center for Nonprofits, New Jersey Center for Nonprofits. We had a rebranding last year, and we are also celebrating our 40th anniversary, so it's an exciting time to be part of your New Jersey Center for Nonprofits. I'd first like to thank all of our members for joining us today and our soon-to-be members. We hope we're going to have a special offer coming up for you if you're not a member of the Center for New Jersey Center for Nonprofits. And I will be introducing some of my colleagues that are also joining us on this webinar. So welcome. So we'll get started with some slides. So we're here for you as New Jersey Center for Nonprofits. We have several pillars that we work on: advocacy, education, member benefits, and of course our convening as well. And we'll be talking a little bit more about that in just a bit. So again, for 40 years, we have been your champion, hub, and go-to resource for all things New Jersey nonprofits. New Jersey nonprofits, we're a strong force in New Jersey. We have over 40,000 501c3 organizations in the state, employing over 330,000 people. And that's about 10% of the private workforce that are employed by New Jersey nonprofits. Of course, 50 billion in expenditures annually and 1.8 million volunteers. It's a lot of volunteers. And for the volunteers that are on this call, thank you so much for all that you do. A little bit about the New Jersey Center for Nonprofits. As I mentioned, it is our 40th anniversary. That means we were founded in 1982. And we came together because in the state, it was identified a need for an organization that could represent the collective nonprofit sector and serve as a resource when organizations had questions or needed a voice on their behalf. And our mission is to build the power of New Jersey's nonprofit community to improve the quality for the people of our state. And here are some pictures back in the 80s. Of course, there was color photography back then, but I guess we're just showing a little nostalgia here. So again, I mentioned I'm joined by several members of our staff. We have Linda Zippo, our president and CEO. Deborah Duncan is actually on another important webinar. Whoops, my slides went a little too quickly there. And we have Kathy Hahn, our program coordinator, Doug Schoenberger, he's our government affairs specialist, and Danielle Robinson is our program associate. We are so fortunate to have a wonderful board of trustees. Here's just a few of them. Here's our board of trustees pictured here. And welcome to our board of trustees that are on today's Know Your Center. And we are part of the National Council of Nonprofits. Almost every state association has an organization like ours. And here's a map of some of the state associations. We are close to PANO, Pennsylvania Association of Nonprofit Organizations, and Nonprofit New York, and DANO, which is Delaware's state association for nonprofits. Here's a reminder, our Issues and Trends and Outlook survey is going to be released very soon. So make sure that you're subscribed to our email list so that you get that. And please fill it out. It is really important that we get the most participation we can from 501c3s in the state. And please share it with your networks as well. The survey takes about 10 to 15 minutes. All individual responses are kept confidential, and it really helps us in shaping our advocacy for New Jersey nonprofits. Doing Good Better. This is a partnership that we're working on with the Council of New Jersey Grantmakers, deepening philanthropic and nonprofit partnerships in our state. We have some information on this on our website, as well as the Council of New Jersey Grantmakers website, and their spring conference is going to focus a lot on this discussion of doing good better. We're talking about how foundations do multi-year grants, how they might make the application process easier, just a whole bunch of different subjects that we're talking with. We have a wonderful partnership with the Council of New Jersey Grantmakers, and this is just one more way that we're advocating for New Jersey nonprofits. Okay, so I am going to actually introduce Danielle to talk a little bit about our networking, connecting the .orgs. And when we sent this announcement out about this webinar, many of our members said they value our networking the most. So Danielle, you want to talk a little bit about some things that we've done in the past and some things coming up?
Sure. Next slide. And last year we did our first Reconnect Roadshow, where we went to 4 different locations all around the state, so that we actually came out to you. And we had at the Turtleback Zoo, there was a sloth visit. We were able to play with a baby sloth. I think at the Basie Center, we had some performances. Art Yard, we had a great art exhibit from an Afro-Cuban artist, and Wheaton Arts, we were able to see some glass blowing. So we thank you to our sponsors for sponsoring our food and beverage for those different locations. And we're excited about in 2023, we're planning to do something similar, to reach out and make sure that we have an event, an in-person networking opportunity in the different parts of the state. So if anyone can host one of our networking sessions, please reach out to us. You can email us at center@njnonprofits.org. We'll post that in the chat if you are willing to host one of the locations, because we want to get out and meet everyone. Our next slide. And thank you again for all who attended and sponsored our sold out conference. That was it's February now. That was in December. That was our biggest and best conference yet. So we are really excited, holding on to that momentum. We had some great networking opportunities, and we plan to do the same this year. We will also have it at the Palace. And I suggest everyone register early, because we sold out a week before the conference date. And so we don't want you to miss out on our great event. In our next slide. And one of our crown jewels is our Member Mondays. Every other Monday, we have a networking opportunity for our members to connect with each other virtually throughout the state. It's really grown since I've started the organization, so I'm excited. You get to meet other people who may be doing this, similar work, and we're making those connections. So it's a good time to get out and meet other nonprofit professionals, and we're excited. I think the next one is this Monday, so all of our members can join us. You get the links in an email that we send right before. So we're excited to have you. Learning, yay! So we have a lot of events. These are events for February. The ones in orange are the ones that we're hosting. So you see our Member Monday. This Friday, we're having our first vision board party, where we can set our goals for 2023 in a visual representation. If anyone's ever attended a vision board party, we're really excited about, doing this and making our goals tangible and sharing them with other people who are nonprofit professionals. There's a discount for our members, our center members, but it's limited to 20 people, 20 attendees, so we can still keep it intimate. So spots are filling up. So I suggest if you plan on attending, you register ASAP. As you can see, our events page has various events from other nonprofit organizations. I think we have something with the New York nonprofit membership organization. So definitely check it out, see different things that you can participate in. We love sharing events for our members. And next, surveys. So, we have Trends in Outlook. We'll be sending out that within the next week or so. So please complete that so we can have some information that will be valuable to our members. We also have a compensation and benefits report, the nonprofits diversity report in the state. So there's some really great information that you can use for your organization that we're holding.
Yes,
so please avail yourself of that.
And these surveys are available on our website, so you can take a look at some of the past surveys. We were keeping everybody up to date during the pandemic on how your organization was faring. We did a couple of rapid response surveys, so we really appreciate when you participate in our surveys. Our voices, advocacy and public policy, is a big part of what we do. And I'm going to introduce my colleague, Doug Schoenberger, who's going to talk a little bit about some of the past things we've worked on and some things coming up. Doug?
Susan, thank you very much. Again, thanks for everyone for joining. So my role here at the center is indeed to kind of spearhead our advocacy efforts here. I'm the government affairs specialist, and that exclamation point on advocate that you see there, really, really important. You know, this is a team game. And we bring as a sector a lot to the advocacy space that not all sectors do, and namely, a couple of those are passion, right? All of us are passionate about our missions, and nothing sells, frankly, more than passion. So that's a great thing. And the other thing that's really helpful as we advocate to legislators, to regulators, to other stakeholders, is stories. We all have great stories about people whose lives we have impacted. Really, really helpful as we get our message out there. So that is a call, and I'll come back to this briefly, of get involved, right? Get to know your legislators. A good place to start is to get to know your members of the Assembly and the Senate in your districts. Give them a call. The key word there is constituent, right? Our electeds are very interested in what their constituents have to say, and that's especially true for our nonprofits. So that is a call to indeed get involved. The heft of our sector can really, really be helpful here. Some specifics things, Susan, I'm good if they're the next one. This is from our website, and you can see here some examples of things that we have worked on, and I'm going to touch on things that we've gotten done, a couple things that we're just getting started, and one that we haven't gotten done, but we really, really do. So you'll see here some examples in the first category, things that we've been able to get done on the legislative side. One that's you see on top there is we raised the audit threshold from $500,000 in gross revenues to $1 million, the level at which all nonprofits have to have an audit. So that provides some flexibility for many of our members to not have to have a mandatory audit. Financial and fiscal responsibility certainly is a big part of what we're about, but that provided some flexibility for our members. As another flexible thing that we got done was, you'll see the second one there, allowing members to conduct meetings remotely. Somewhat strangely, that was not allowed before we got a law through during COVID, which allowed it during COVID. And then you'll see here that we also got rid of the COVID hook there. Now that can happen at any time. Hopefully you were all very excited to see question number 2 on the ballot last time, and that was one of ours, the Games of Chance ballot question that passed. That allowed any nonprofit to use proceeds from Games of Chance in any way that you see fit. Again, somewhat strangely, you had to be a veterans group or a seniors group before this to use your raffle proceeds to fix a hole in the roof or buy a new computer. Before that, those proceeds had to be used for programmatic purposes. So we were very, very happy to see that pass. I'll tell you, it was a lot of fun to get in that booth and see that question there. So there's some examples of things we've gotten done. In the coming attraction side, we're working on a couple new ones as well, and more to come on this, but one is government contract reform. We hear from, it's probably not an exaggeration, all of you who are in the grant game, that there are issues on how the state lets and gives grants. And so we are working on what at this point appears to be a fairly broad piece of legislation that would address these issues with the government. All of our organizations across the states have pretty much the exact same problems. So we're not alone in that, but we're working with a couple of very active champions to put some language together to really, really address that issue. That's one. The second one that we're working on that's somewhat new 2 is online games of chance. So I just have always found it interesting that you could go online and bet on what Tom Brady has for breakfast in the morning, but you can't buy a raffle ticket for your local animal shelter or your domestic violence agency. So we are working to change that as well. Hopefully more to come on that. And then finally, one that we have worked on and we're continuing to work on is this one, the charitable giving incentive. So New Jersey is one of a few states that has a broad state income tax that does not allow basically any deduction of charitable gifts. So we've been at this for a little bit. We've been half successful, which actually doesn't count in our space. We've been able to get bills through the Senate. So we are working on another piece of legislation, focusing our attention on the Assembly, getting some more champions to help us with that. And this is a good example of the things that we work on here. Legislation, again, regulations that really help the whole sector. And of course, we see this as a direct link to increased contributions, which of course allows all of us to do our missions better. So more to come on that. And by more to come, you see an example here. We put a letter out last May on an earlier piece of legislation, and we're able in a very short amount of time get a significant amount of y'all to sign up with us. I can't tell you how important that is as we advocate for this. So pretty soon you will see something similar on this. We'll a sign-on letter for this legislation. Please take a look at that. We'd love to have you all sign on. And again, that gets back to my first theme. Just so important that you get involved individually and as a group to help us in our advocacy roles. So Susan, thank you very much.
Thank you, Doug. And this slide is actually our public policy page, so you can go back and take a look on our website as we update it often. And please make sure that you're subscribed to our email, because we do send out advocacy alerts often, and there are things that you can do, as Doug mentioned. Thank you, Doug.
Sure.
Next, I'm going to move on to our career resources. A lot of nonprofit leaders say they get their best hires from our job board. So I'm going to introduce my colleague, Kathy Hahn, to talk a little bit about member services when it comes to the career resources.
Thank you, Susan. Hi, everybody. I'm Kathy Hahn. Last year, our executive director and CEO, Linda Zippo, changed our website to make it much easier than it used to be to post a job. Well, much easier for us and hopefully just as easy for you. You actually create your own listings. If you're a member, your listings are free, which I think is one of our most popular member benefits. If you're not a member, you may know this already, you've been paying $90 per listing. So a lot of organizations get their membership value immediately by posting jobs. The job posting form is easy to use. It's very copy and paste friendly, I believe, because I've done it myself. You can link to it immediately from our job listings page, which Susan has up on the screen right now. And you just click the thing that says post a job. And if you're a member, you go ahead and create your listing and submit it. And when I see it, I will make it go live as long as it meets all of our requirements. We do require that you have a salary range listed. And if you're not a member, there's a way you can make your payment online with a credit card pretty conveniently. So our job listings are very popular, and I hope that if you've used them, you found them to be useful in finding good candidates. Also on our jobs page are some job seeker resources, including some programs for higher education and additional learning. So it's not just job listings. Be sure you check that out sometime when you have a moment. I'm also the person who is behind the help desk. If you, the help desk is available to the entire nonprofit community, members and non-members alike. Members do receive more in-depth service and higher priority in terms of time. I really enjoy the help desk part of my job because it really has helped me get acquainted with the nonprofit community. I spent about 30 years of my career initially working in government, so I'm relatively new to the nonprofit world. And being the person who sees all those help desk inquiries has really helped me get familiar with the needs and topics that are important to you. We really like hearing from you. What we hear from you in the help desk also drives some of our other programs, including the things we choose to offer educationally and as networking programs. So please do write to us and let us know what's on your mind. You can see here on Susan's slide some of the topics that we've covered in the help desk. I am not the only person answering, just in case that gives you any measure of comfort. We all answer help desk inquiries, and we also are perfectly willing to admit when we don't know the answer, which I think is as important as saying that you do know everything. So use the help desk. It's one of your resources, and we really do enjoy hearing from you.
And also, if you have a great tip that should be part of our help desk library, please let us know. You want to talk a little bit about that, Kathy, especially
Yes.
the resource lists?
Great point, Susan. We do have resource lists that we share upon request. If you believe you've had a good experience with somebody who should be on our resource list, we really value your lived experience on that. So please do tell us who you've been using for services. And if you are a provider of services, please tell us what nonprofits you've served and how you've served them, and we will consider you for our resource list also.
And our resource list includes, we have a list of attorneys that work with New Jersey nonprofits, accounting firms, strategic plan facilitators, some web designers. What else am I missing?
Fundraising consultants. We're always looking to expand our list of New Jersey-based grant writers. So if you are a grant writer or have worked with a grant writer who's willing to take on new clients, please share that information with us. We'd love to be able to pass that on. Another thing we're trying to build is an event planning list, as well as marketing communications information. Mm-hmm. So please do share with us, because your information, your experience is the thing we value most highly in terms of who we'd like to put on a list.
And we do include our members on those lists as well. If you're an associate member is a for-profit, perhaps a consultant or a firm that is a champion of New Jersey's nonprofits and provides services. And as an associate member, we do list you on our membership directory page. The associate members, it's its own page, and you get a link to your website. Or if you're a consultant, you don't have a website, we link to your LinkedIn profile. So, please check that out. If you're looking for services, of course, we'll send you a resource list, but you also might want to check out who's on our associate member list, because right away, they're interested in nonprofits. Essential, talking a little bit about our associate members and our 501c3 members. So as a member of the Center for Nonprofits, you can display your proud member graphic on your website. You can use it in any type of promotional materials. Those of you who are our members and perhaps don't have our newest logo, please reach out to us and we'll make sure that we get that to you right away. We did, when we changed over to our new vision, our new branding, we did send them out to all of our members. But in case you don't have it, you could just send us an email, center@njnonprofits.org, and we'll be happy to send that off to you. And as Danielle mentioned earlier on the call, Member Monday. So this is an exclusive member benefit. You need to be a center member, associate members as well, to join us on our Member Mondays. And it's a great time for sharing information. I really have to say this helped us all get through the pandemic. Just getting on the call every other week and hearing the concerns, the humor of our members too. We had a lot of laughs, a lot of fun. So our next one is this Monday. And if you're a center member, you should already have the link. If you don't, please reach out to us at center@njnonprofits.org, and we'll make sure that you get the link. We do ask our members to only share it inside their organization because it's a member benefit. So a little bit about our mission here. Together, we envision a New Jersey nonprofit community that is strong, vibrant, valued, and effective. Together, we engage for equitable communities for a thriving quality of life in our state. So join us in this vision. become a member. And as I mentioned at the top of the webinar, we do have a discount running right now. In honor of the Lunar New Year, the code is RABBIT. And if you go on to our enrollment form, you can save 10% on annual dues. And dues start as little as $99. So with this 10% discount, if you're a very small nonprofit, that would only be $89 for your annual dues. We have this through February 15th. So please act on this and please join us. If you are a current member, when you'll be getting your renewal at your cycle, and we always offer an early bird special. So our center members are always taking advantage of a 10% discount if you renew early through the early bird discount. If you have any questions on that, please reach out to us. If you want to check on the status of your membership, you want to see how many more months you have, please, by all means, reach out to us. We love to hear from our members. And we're trying to make our website a little bit more member interactive. And this spring and this summer, we're going to be announcing a few new features to our website, including some member-only areas. So as we said, we've already explained some of the member benefits that we have. Our Member Mondays, the nonprofit help desk that Kathy told us about. And again, members get priority access and a little bit of a faster turnaround. Always reach out to us. And if you have something that might require a phone call, give us your contact information and one of us will get back to you. But email is always best. This way we can send you links. Our recorded webinar library. I haven't talked about this yet, but we have, in addition to the live learning opportunities we also record most of our webinars. And just about all of them are free for our center members. And any upcoming webinars are always, the majority of them are free. Some are deeply discounted. The vision board one is not free, but most of them are free for our members. But we really encourage you to check out the recorded webinar library. And if there are any that you'd like to order, send us an email and we can turn them around pretty quickly to you. A lot of them, have your own watch party at your organization. We have webinars on building the board of your dreams. We have webinars on social media, fundraising, and we also have webinars on all of the surveys that we have released too. Most of them we have a webinar on, which we'll be having a web briefing following up with the Trends and Outlook survey probably in March when we have our results on that. And we invite everybody to join us on that. And as Kathy mentioned, if you're hiring at your nonprofit, the job board, it's really a great value. So please, if you're posting a couple of jobs and you're not a member, what you're paying in posting might come out to your membership. So always check first and see if it'd be a better value to join. And of course, we'd love to have you join in supporting the work that we do. Again, that discount code is RABBIT. And that concludes the end of my slides and my talking. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop sharing my screen and we can all maybe see each other on the gallery here. And if you have any specific questions, be more than happy to answer questions. I'll check in the chat to see if anybody has anything here. Feel free to unmute yourself if you have questions as well.
I have a question.
Sure.
We hope to launch a program in Morris County soon for Safely Back Home, people who wander due to Alzheimer's and autism. And I'm going to have to do fundraising to cover the cost of the pilot program. Do you have a listing of organizations or companies or individuals in Morris County who I should reach out to?
For
Fundraising?
Consultants?
No. I'm not sure what the term would be. I'm new to this, but I know I have to cover the cost of launching the program, whatever amount it's going to be, $10,000, $12,000. And I was wondering if you have any
donors is what he's talking about. Donors, right?
Oh, okay. People to underwrite.
donors.
costs.
I'm sorry. Thank you. Donors.
We don't specifically have a list like that, but
Okay,
definitely, check out some of our past sponsors from our conference, of course. All of that information is up on our conference pages. You might want to take a look there. We are
okay,
going to be doing some Meet the Funders types of workshops in the coming years, so definitely want to take advantage of that. That is something, if I know you've been on some of our Member Mondays,
right,
and we encourage you to always ask that question. You never know who could be on a Member Monday that
right.
might have, if they're not a funder, they might have some really great resources on who to reach out to. So, and
Okay,
also the foundation directory online is also a good resource for that.
okay. Thank you, Susan.
Thank you. And let's see, are there any questions in the chat?
I put a couple of questions in the Q&A.
And I also have a couple of questions as well.
All right, let's see here. We have the vision board link.
Gus, Susan, if you look at Q&A, Gus put two questions. One is, what is the fee of an associate membership? And the second was directed to Doug. Which senator and which assembly persons are the chairs of the committees that typically deal with nonprofit issues?
Okay, I'll let Doug answer that one first.
So we focus on champions, folks who are really involved with nonprofits. So on the assembly side, it's been Assemblywoman Murphy and Assemblywoman Lopez. Assemblywoman Lopez and her staff ran a nonprofit, so they've been very, very helpful for us as well. Angela McKnight in Jersey City is also someone that we are developing. She runs a nonprofit, and she's going to help us quite a bit. We hope and think on our.
Do they go, Doug, do they go, what, are they all on a particular committee or?
No,
really it's issue by issue.
Yeah, that's correct. And Gus, you bring up a good question, and a bit of an issue we have to deal with here is often not a central spot committee wise for us. Things, as you probably know, things do tend to go through budget and appropriations for bills that have that, but it tends to vary. In fact, it varies. The good news of that is it gives us a chance to educate other members of other committees about our issues. But as far as sponsoring bills to get those up there, it's a handful. On the Senate side, Senator Oroho has been great. We were a bit taken aback and a tad saddened to see that he's not going to run for re-election. Again, he's been very, very helpful. Senator Gopal also and Senator Singleton have been good as well. So and how it works is you get a champion and then you try to get as many co-sponsors as possible. And frankly, Gus, a lot of this gets to the leadership in the House, Assembly Majority leadership, Senate leadership as well. So it's a bit of an ad hoc process, but again, it does give us an opportunity to get what I think is a very powerful message out.
Good.
And the dues, I just put the annual dues link in the chat. Associate member, it's $250 for an individual and it's $500 for a firm. And I see that, Lenora, you have your hand up?
Thank you. Yeah, I did. I was just wondering, I think our membership year starts April 1st. So would we be able to prepay with the discount?
You're going to get a early bird renewal. So it's the same as the discount, and you will be receiving a notice on that. Kathy will be sending those out.
So that's separate than this,
right? You can't
February
combine the
15th
discounts.
one?
Yes,
Okay.
you can't combine the discounts. So it's the 10%. So you will get. But yes, that's a good question. Thanks for asking.
Yeah. So just to be sure, so I don't have to worry about February 15th. I'll just wait to receive an email about my specific membership.
Correct.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes.
And then sort of as an aside, ready to pick back up. So I'll contact you on the side to say something.
Thank you, Linda. And then my second question is actually in regards to benefits for members. Is there any discounts for like higher education programs for member organizations?
We don't have that right now, but if you have a suggestion, if you want to send it my way, I'd be more than happy to take a look.
Sure, thank you.
Thank you. Any questions about membership? Anybody want to perhaps chime in and our current center members and let us know what you appreciate, what you'd like to see more. I know Vanessa mentioned she'd like to see higher education opportunities. Anybody want to chime in with that?
Susan, if you don't mind, there was something I forgot to mention.
Mm-hmm.
Danielle mentioned our events calendar. We would be happy to list your non-fundraising events. We can't list your galas and such, but if you have an event that's open to the community and you would like us to put it on the calendar, send it to center@njnonprofits.org, and I would be happy to put it up. Just make sure I have enough details, including like how people register and the cost, if there's a cost for it, and we'd be happy to share that. I try to subscribe to newsletters for a lot of you, but as you can imagine, it's hard to read all that. We're all deluged with email. So if you want something to bring something to our attention, I hope you'll do that.
Yes, and providing as many details as you can is always wonderful, especially the price, the registration link. And we, like Kathy said, we don't post fundraising galas, but if you're having a networking event that's open to nonprofits, let us know and we'll definitely take a look and see if it's something for our calendar. And what Danielle mentioned about our Reconnect Roadshow, it was such a huge success and really had to do with us visiting nonprofits across the state. If you have room, if you have a conference room, or if you have a great, maybe you have a nice gazebo in your yard at your nonprofit and you'd like to host a morning coffee networking session for members or a lunch and learn or anything else, let us know and we'll be happy to put together a group that might come out to your nonprofit. That goes for our associate members as well. If you're looking for ways to reach the nonprofit community and you want to get more involved in some of the networking opportunities we have and you have space and you have the resources, we'd love to talk to you about hosting an event. And there's also the opportunity to exhibit at our conference as well, if anybody is interested in that. And as Danielle mentioned, this year we're going to be opening up registration first just to our members so that you could take advantage of that before we sell out. Great. Well, we're just about at time, 10:45, unless anybody has any more questions. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining us. You will receive an email with the slides as well as recording of the session. And please join us on Member Monday this Monday. Please stay in touch. Reach out to us at any time if you have any questions, any suggestions on what we should be offering, and we'll try to make that happen for you. It was a pleasure meeting all of you, and thanks again for this opportunity. And more importantly, thank you for all that you're doing in your communities. Really appreciate it. New Jersey is strong because of the nonprofits and because of leaders like you and champions that work with nonprofits. So on behalf of the staff here at the New Jersey Center for Nonprofits, thanks for spending your Wednesday morning with us, and thanks for all that you do.